Right now, without your permission, your body is running software that's thousands of years old. Not a metaphor, not an exaggeration, literal ancient code. And it fires constantly, at emails, at phone notifications, and a door slamming in the hallway. Your body cannot tell the difference between a work deadline and a lion. And I think that's kind of a crisis, but also kind of hilarious. So here's what we're doing today. I'm gonna walk you through 8 reflexes that your body still has, right now, in your body as you watch this, that are genuinely ancient survival mechanisms. Things your nervous system inherited from ancestors who were being actively hunted. And then I'm going to show you where each one misfires in modern life, because they all do, spectacularly. Some of them are funny, some are kind of uncomfortable to think about. One involves amphibians, which, I'll get to that. The unifying theme, your body is always choosing survival over accuracy. Always. Without asking you, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay, let's start with the one that happens before you even have a thought. You're sitting at your desk, quiet, focused, doing something important. Someone drops a mug 2 rooms away, and your whole body goes. Shoulders up, eyes shut. Maybe you make a noise. You don't decide to do this. Your body just executes. That's the startle reflex. And here's the wild part. It's not going through your brain first. It bypasses your cortex, the thinking part, and runs almost entirely through your brainstem. The ancient part, the part that's basically just a tube of don't die signals. The original job? Protect your eyes and neck from incoming attacks. If something is coming at your face, there's no time to deliberate. The reflex is the decision. That made sense when the thing coming at your face was a predator. It makes slightly less sense when the thing is a Slack notification. But your brainstem doesn't check. It just reacts, and then your conscious brain catches up milliseconds later and goes, oh, it was just a notification, and you feel vaguely embarrassed, alone, in your own home. The system works as intended, by the way. That's the part that gets me. Okay, so most people have heard of fight or flight, but I don't think people realize how aggressively it still activates. Here's what's happening physiologically. Adrenaline spikes. Heart rate goes up. Blood moves to your muscles. Your body is preparing to run or to fight. That is a system designed for predators. Like the full threat response, elevated cortisol, tunnel vision, shallow breathing, your body is gearing up. And the thing that triggered it? An email that said, "Can we talk?" Or traffic. Or a passive-aggressive comment from someone at work. Or a social media argument with a stranger you'll never meet. Your nervous system does not distinguish. The stimulus comes in, the threat threshold trips, and suddenly your body is ready to either sprint or fight something, and instead you just sit there, in your car, or at your desk. Nowhere to run, nothing to fight, just cortisol with no exit ramp. Which, incidentally, is why chronic stress is such a problem. It's not that stress is bad. Stress was life-saving. It's that the thing it was built for resolved quickly. You ran, you fought. It was over. Modern stress doesn't resolve, so the system just stays on. Anyway, that's fun. Let's talk about freezing. There's a third option that doesn't get talked about enough. Not fight. Not flight. Freeze. You've done this. Everybody has. Your mind goes blank in a stressful moment. You forget what you are going to say. You're in an argument, and suddenly you have nothing. The words just evaporate. Or stage fright. You know what you're going to say. You've rehearsed, and then the moment arrives and your body just locks. That's not weakness. I want to be clear about that. That's a survival strategy. The ancient logic, if you can't run and you can't fight, don't move. Predators track movement. Stillness could mean survival, so your nervous system freezes you. Does it still make sense when you're presenting to 6 colleagues on a Tuesday? Arguably not. But your body is running 40,000-year-old threat assessment software, so the really interesting part is that this isn't a conscious decision. People who freeze in emergencies sometimes feel shame about it afterward. Why didn't I act? And the answer is, you didn't choose that. Your biology did. It was trying to protect you. Okay, pause. Let me remind you where we are. So far, your body is startling at nothing, flooding you with adrenaline over emails, and occasionally just locking you in place in response to mild social stress. All of these are working exactly as designed. We still have Goosebumps, Hypnic Jerks, motion sickness, the Diving Reflex, and I promise to amphibians, Hiccups. Stay with me. It gets weirder. Goosebumps. You get them from cold, you get them from a great song, you get them from a scene in a movie that just hits. What is actually happening, tiny muscles at the base of your hair follicles contract. The follicles stand up, goosebumps appear. Ancient purpose. Number 1, trap warm air close to your skin. Heat retention. You're essentially trying to fluff up like a bird puffing its feathers. Ancient purpose. Number 2, and this is the one I love, look bigger. Piloerection, it's called. Animals do it to appear more threatening. Fur stands up. You look larger, the predator maybe thinks twice. You don't have fur, you have at best arm hair. The puffing up system is completely vestigial. It does nothing for heat retention. It does nothing for intimidation. You just get small bumps on your arms and occasionally feel a chill. But your brain faithfully activates it every time, because the wiring is still there. The behavior still fires. Your brain still thinks you have fur. I think about that more than I should. About 70% of people experience this, so there's a good chance this happened to you recently. You're falling asleep, you're almost there, and then, thud, your whole body jerks awake. Sometimes it's a single convulsion. Sometimes you get that falling sensation first. Sometimes you actually startle yourself fully awake, and then lie there feeling vaguely attacked. That's a hypnic jerk. And the leading theory for why it happens? Your brain thinks you just fell out of a tree. Genuinely. The theory is that as your muscles relax during the transition to sleep, your brain, the ancient part, again, interprets that sudden limpness as falling, and it fires a full-body jerk to grab onto something, which would have been extremely useful when your ancestors were sleeping in trees. Less useful in a memory-full mattress situation, but again, the software doesn't update. Stress, caffeine, and sleep deprivation all make it worse, by the way, which means the more modern life you are doing, the more your brain thinks you're falling from trees. Poetic, honestly. Up to 59% of people experience motion sickness. Almost everyone gets it in some condition, and the reason it exists is genuinely strange. Your eyes say you're sitting still. Your inner ear says you're moving. The signals disagree, and your brain, receiving conflicting sensory input, defaults to the ancient explanation for when your perception of reality is scrambled. You've been poisoned. That's the theory. In the ancestral environment, if your vision and your body disagreed about what was happening, the most likely explanation was that you'd ingested something toxic, so the brain initiates nausea to, well, expel it. You're reading in the back seat of a car. Your brain is attempting a detox. People getting verse sickness. People getting nauseous on boats. People not being able to watch shaky cam movies. Your brain, in every case, is running a poison protocol because the inputs don't match. The system has a 100% false positive rate in modern life and a 0% accuracy rate, and it is still fully operational. Quick one. The diving reflex. Cold water on your face? Like splashing your face in the sink slows your heart rate measurably. Your blood redistributes to prioritize vital organs. Your oxygen efficiency increases. This is a full mammalian adaptation for surviving underwater. You share it with seals, dolphins, whales. Your body has a swimming survival mode that just quietly activates whenever cold water touches your face. It's why cold water on your face can sometimes reduce a panic attack, by the way. You're triggering an ancient calming response. Your heart literally slows down. And then there's hiccups, which deserve a special mention because the leading theory is that hiccups are a remnant of an amphibian gill-breathing reflex, the same neural pattern that ancient aquatic animals used to flush water over their gills. Your diaphragm spasms, your glottis snaps shut, survives, vestigially, in you, a human, with lungs. You get hiccups at dinner. The neural program responsible may be tens of millions of years old. Hiccups don't do anything anymore. They serve no function. They're just still running. So here's the thing that ties all of this together. And this is the part I actually find kind of profound, not just funny. Every single one of these reflexes has the same underlying logic. Your body would rather overreact to nothing than miss a real threat. Startle at the wrong thing? No harm done. Miss the actual attack? You're dead. So your nervous system chose sensitivity, permanently, evolutionarily locked in. And that made total sense. For thousands of years, it was the right call. But now the threats are emails, and traffic, and someone leaving you on read, and your body responds with the same ancient code. Adrenaline, freezing, the whole cascade, because it genuinely cannot tell the difference. You are not broken. You are extremely, aggressively optimized for an environment that no longer exists, which is both reassuring and also just a little bit horrifying. Alright, 8 reflexes, 1 ancient operating system, 0 updates since the Pleistocene. The startle reflex that bypasses your brain entirely. Fight or flight triggered by a Tuesday email. Your body freezing you in place to avoid predators that aren't there. Goosebumps from fur you don't have. Your brain jerking you awake because you fell out of a tree. Motion sickness because your perception and your body disagreed, so obviously poison. A built-in swimming survival mode you didn't know about. And hiccups from fish. You carry all of that right now in your body. I genuinely think knowing this stuff changes how you relate to your own reactions. Like, the next time you freeze up in a stressful moment, or your heart's racing for no apparent reason, that's not weakness. That's not a flaw. That's your ancient, loyal, slightly confused nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. It just doesn't know what year it is. And if one of these reflexes made you think, wait, that happens to me, drop it in the comments. Genuinely curious which one lands hardest. See you in the next one.